Welcome, mcThings.
Hi everyone, I'm Tom Grunland, founder and CEO of mcThings. mcThings connects things to the internet that cannot be plugged in. I'll tell you a little bit what that means further, but first we need to talk a little bit about the Internet of Things. I'm sure all of you have seen graphs like this, 33 billion devices connected by 2020. And then you'll have a number of categories, your smart homes, your smart devices, so on and so forth. And then you have this big blob called Internet of Things. Now, what is the Internet of Things? Here, Strategy Analytics calls it emerging categories. So we have to ask ourselves a question. What are the big emerging categories? Where are all these devices coming from? And I can tell you they're not super sexy industries, all of them. Some of them are plain boring. So what we do is we primarily focus on assets under $1,000 that today are just not monitored at all. So we're talking pallets, recycling bins, billboards, porta potties, shopping carts, so on and so forth. But the question is, how do you get value out of these assets? By connecting them, you can, well, first of all, there's a lot of these assets. So 500 million pallets, 150 million plus recycling bins, 450,000 billboards. Now, 450,000 almost seems like a rounding error by comparison to those other numbers, but there's a lot of them. So where do we get the value? By connecting them, we can find, manage, and monitor these assets to reduce losses, increase efficiencies, and find new revenue opportunities. What we do is we provide devices as a service. We have ultra-low power hardware that can last on batteries for 5 to 10 years. We have software that helps improve the development process from months to days. And we have cloud software to help scale and manage these solutions. So currently, we have a number of customers in the pallet industry, the recycling industry, and as well as billboards. So for the pallets, we help them find lost pallets. For paper shredding bins, we actually tell them when are these bins full so they can know when to pick them up. And for billboards, we just know how long, whether or not the lights are on. Often, they actually have people driving around what they call night riders, and they just check if the lights are on. We can now automate that process. So these solutions obviously have to be low cost. So for $6 a year, 50 cents a month, we can track and manage these types of assets. We currently have about 20 B2B customers. A couple of those customers have revenue opportunities of about $40 million a year for us, and we have currently trials going on globally. We're pretty rapid growth. In last year, we had about $190,000 revenue. This year, about $380,000 revenue. We double it from that year. And this coming year, we expect 1 to 6 million. That is primarily based on some timing on some large corporates. That can be plus or minus 3 months, and that obviously defines that change. So I'm Tom from mcThings. We have all of these demos actually live at our demo pit. And yeah, any questions? Thank you.
Very nice.
I know this is a really, like tracking, I think low value assets is fairly unique, but I know the technology itself is pretty, this is a pretty concentrated space. What are you guys doing that's different? How are you moving faster to get ahead of competition?
Yeah, so the main thing that we do is we've built a massive firmware suite that essentially helps us get the time to market a lot faster. The other thing is my entire background has been in manufacturing sector, so I also know how to make these devices very low cost and do very fast. Very recently, we actually had SAP had a conference down in Las Vegas. On Wednesday, they told us they needed a solution. Thursday, we actually shipped that solution to here in Silicon Valley, and then on the Tuesday after, they were actually demonstrating it live on stage in Las Vegas.
Hey Tom, you had a slide that showed 40 million as a statistic, but I think that was tied to a single customer. Can you explain what that number means relative to that customer?
Yeah, so what that means for that customer, this customer wants to deploy about 15 million assets, and essentially well, the price goes down a little bit at that kind of volume. So yeah.
You think you're going to get to that scale with that customer in a short
Yeah, so
amount of
this
time?
customer wants to deploy about 250,000 assets early next year. So for that, and then the long-term scale, there's an ROI for them for even 15 million units.
It's a big number. Wow.
Yep.